Hey everyone, welcome to Back at the Ranch, Expedition Online's after show. I am your host, Danny Knaub, and with me is our latest deserted explorer, Chantel. Welcome, how are you?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Of course, I really enjoyed watching you play the game. So I'm really excited to kind of get a chance to talk to you and just sort of hear your thoughts on everything. So just going all the way back to the beginning, obviously we're all huge Survivor fans, otherwise we probably wouldn't be playing these games. So how surprised were you when you found out that Ethan and Janet, the real Ethan and Janet from Survivor, were going to be your team coaches and they were going to be picking you and Ethan picked you?
Oh, I was so excited. I was actually shocked that Ethan picked me, and I'm glad that he picked me because I really wanted to be on his team. So that made me super happy.
Good. Well, and so it's interesting because obviously we don't give you any time to really get to know each other. We like throw you immediately into a challenge. Team Ethan had a bit of a rough start to the season. You lost back-to-back challenges. So just talk to me about those early days, because obviously Will was deserted first, and then you Gabe, although he does eventually come back in the game. But in those first few days, who was running your party? Who were you working with? What was going on?
Okay, to be honest, I don't know who was running our party. I feel like nobody really wanted to take the reins and be the leader of our party. So I felt like that was kind of hard to navigate through. I mean, we all gave our opinions on who we wanted to go next. We would all just pitch the reason why someone should go or try to predict if there was even going to be the Trail of the Deserted to begin with. So I feel like we were strategic when it came to that. When it came to getting Will out, uh, we all were unanimous. However, there was a rogue vote that that someone threw on Gabe. So there's two votes for Gabe, and I believe the rest were for Will. And when we got back to the shelter, we were trying to figure out who threw that rogue vote and why so early on in the game. I thought we were gonna have some unity, but I mean, who we thought it wasn't. Am I allowed to say who it was?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so when I got eliminated, we come to find out that we were all blaming Hannah in the beginning, but come to find out it was actually Garrett. So the whole time, our party was like, "Oh, Hannah's disrupting the tribe and causing so much chaos," and in reality, we're all blaming the wrong person. And I feel so bad for that, but it was just the way that she was behaving back at camp, which was just weird. So it kind of made us all feel weary of her, as if we couldn't trust her. So yeah, then after we got rid of Will, then the next vote was Gabe because we found out about the Trail of the Deserted by then, I believe. And we were like, if anyone is to come back, it's got to be Gabe because I feel like he would he wouldn't take it to heart. He has a carefree spirit and nothing really bothers him. So I'm glad that we made that decision, and I'm glad that he came back to our tribe, which I was surprised that he chose to come back to us to begin
Well,
with, because
very
I
shocked.
thought he would hold a
Yeah,
grudge.
I asked him about it too. I was like, they just voted you out. Why are you going back to them? And he's like, me, I just wanted to, he's just super nice and very
Yeah,
exact. So
he's
you're
so
absolutely right with that. Um,
yeah.
so then, you get a crossroads off, but then we have our swap this season. And so you are now on Team Janet and you're in the majority. So are you
Yeah.
feeling good, or the fact that Hannah is on your party and you still have those sort of doubts that she may have, thrown that rogue vote? Um, just how are you feeling in the swap? And are you all
So
deciding we're going to stay strong?
yeah, so I was obviously we all felt great. We were in the majority, but also in the same breath, we have somebody that we all don't trust fully. But then again, we have no choice but to keep her because we need people who worked with us originally on our side, regardless if we trust them or if we don't trust them. we literally have to like step out on faith and just like believe that she's not gonna like turn on us and go to original Janet. So I mean, there was a lot of like chaos during that swap as well. Everybody was talking to everybody, jumping in and out of rooms and stuff like that. And I remember like I had one conversation with Justin, and he was talking to me about, oh, original six strong, original six, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, original six was on day 0, but now it's like I think it was like day 3 or something.
Mhm.
I don't know where the other people a part of that six, where their mind is at. So if I'm gonna stay with the six and go blindly into something that I don't know if the other people truly agree to that original plan that we had in the beginning before the parties were even created. I was like, I don't know, because right now, in the moment that I was thinking, I was like, I gotta think about my game right now. I can't think about the six because I'm not with the six.
Got
So
um,
I just felt like yeah, I understand where you're coming from. Like we'll have protection on that side, but I don't even know if they'll remember about that conversation that we had to begin with. So that was another factor. And I remember him telling me, or he tried to ask me, oh, who do I trust the most? And I was like, to be honest with you, I don't trust anybody. Like I don't know who to trust on my tribe.
yeah.
Um, yeah. And then I asked him, oh, so who do you trust the most? And then he told me it was Jennifer. And I was like, oh, okay, you trust Jennifer the most. Got it.
And then that's why you kicked her off.
Yeah. And I went and I told everybody that, yeah, he trusts her the most. So we gotta get rid of that. And yeah, that's what happened.
Um, Correct me if I'm wrong, but as a spectator watching, it always felt like your original party. So even when you're in the swap tribe, just you'll never quite gelled. It felt like it wasn't. I don't know. It just felt like no one was really coming together to be like, let's make a move, or it was just. It felt like
Yeah.
individuals that would sometimes come together to vote somebody off. But like,
Oh
is that
yeah.
how you
Oh
felt?
yeah, 100%. I feel like um well, I don't know if was actually a problem, but I did feel like me and Hannah were like the oldest people on the tribe, and like the people who were mostly of my age were on original Janet. So I felt like because there was kind of like an age gap between me, Hannah, and then we had what's his name?
Jake.
Jake,
Mhm.
Gideon, and Ryan. Like I felt like the only
Zach.
other person that oh yes, Zach, sorry. um, the only other person that we could connect with was Garrett, but Garrett was like, I felt like he was present, but he wasn't present at the same time. Or I just felt like our tribe just we only worked together if it felt like that person was beneficial for everyone's game to get out.
No, that's kind of that was the vibe I picked up on.
Yeah.
Going into the final vote before the rendezvous, which is our version of the merge, was probably one of the more chaotic crossroads that I have ever witnessed. Obviously, both parties are going to crossroads, although Team Ethan doesn't have to vote. It was a little complicated. Um, but obviously this is sort of when the original team Janet, they did a great move. I mean, they had compasses played, so you end up losing Hannah because Kyle played his compass for Justin, and I'm assuming you voted for Justin, and all of his
Yeah.
votes were negated.
Yeah.
So at that point, how are you all feeling? Because obviously you lost a number, but it was somebody you didn't completely trust. So were you
Yeah.
okay with it?
So during that time, I felt like I didn't have a plan. I didn't have anything to offer to anybody. I felt like I didn't have the control to do anything. Like neither did original Teen Ethan. We had no control. Original Janet had all the control, all the power, and I felt like no matter which way we went, even if we were to go and take out one of our own, they would still make it out to be someone that they wanted out regardless. So I just felt like it's kind of like a double-edged sword that day. And I, in retrospect, thinking back now, and I feel bad that Hannah went, but at the end of the day, I'm glad it wasn't me because I really thought it was gonna be me.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so then we go into the rendezvous. Um, and obviously it feels like that first vote with Gabe going out was like sort of just along party lines. Is that correct? It felt like everybody was just sort of sticking to their original party.
Yeah,
Just again, to your point, kind of let original Team Janet truly take control with
yeah. I felt like from the moment we had entered the rendezvous, I was like, we're on the bottom and I don't know how to come back from this. Like I kind of felt defeated at that point because um like there was just nothing we could do. And anytime we'd go to original Janet, it just felt like there was just walls up, and like people didn't want to like let you in even though you could be a number for them. So I just felt like, okay, we could try to band together as original Ethan, but at the end of the day, they have the numbers to get us out. So all we can do right now is try to make nice and hope that somebody on the other side will be like, oh, I really like X, Y, and Z. I don't want to go for them this week, and so on and so forth. So
well, and
that's how it felt.
yeah, no, and that's interesting because again, as a spectator, and I was, a mod on a lot of your calls, it felt like sort of in the early days of the rendezvous, and this, well, and actually this leads perfectly into this. It did feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it felt like you and Maddie were starting to kind of like lay some foundation of maybe working together.
Yeah.
So I remember being this, we're going to go into the superlative challenge. Obviously, people like you because you were voted, hold on, genuine and enthusiastic. So I think those are good
Woohoo!
words to
I'm
be.
glad that I come across like that. I'm
Yeah,
really
I mean,
glad.
like compared to some others, I'm like, those are the goodies. So people obviously like you.
Yeah.
I remember being in a room with you talking with Maddie, and Maddie, I think, was pitching voting out Kyle. I think everyone was starting to feel that Kyle was being a little overbearing, and it felt like it was one of those votes where party lines would disappear and you all would come together. You voted for Kyle in that round, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
But that ended up not being the day. And I feel like you went back and you were fairly mad about
Oh,
it.
I felt like I was livid.
So what happened? I mean, did Maddie just not get back to you? What I
It
mean, 'cause
was
obviously you
it
went
was
on.
probably because they all told me that it was Kyle's time. Not only Maddie, it was Daniel, it was Rob, it was Justin. And then for them to go back and keep me on the outside when it's like I'm willing to work with you, and nobody bothered to come and tell me what was going on. So already I look like the person that's trying to target Kyle, and I don't want it to be all on me. It's not just me that wants him out. So
Hmm.
that just made me feel really upset that like I wasn't informed. Like it only takes 2 seconds to go back and be like, okay, the plan has changed, and then jump out and go rendezvous with others. But like it didn't come back to me, and I was just so upset about it.
Was there ever a part of you that considered telling Kyle that people were kind of coming after him and trying to maybe sway him over to your side, or?
I did. I really wanted to work with Kyle. The day that I went into a room with him, and I was like, oh, like we're the only Canadians in here. It would be nice if like we could get farther in the game. And like it was just like small talk, and then I would be like, I would give him a few names, but he wouldn't give me anything, and it just felt like you don't want to play with me. The line is drawn in the sand. Your mind is not open to working with everybody. Your mind is to work with the people that you know. And I totally understand. But at the same time, you got to keep your options open because you never know what can happen. And I'm pretty sure I wasn't the only person that like didn't tell him. I'm pretty sure other people told him that people were gonna write his name down. I'm pretty sure he could feel it too. So I
Yeah.
mean, I wanted to tell him, but I didn't get that energy from him. Like, I don't know. I just felt like there was a big wall that I couldn't break down. And he was just like to himself. And I feel like why should I help you if you're not gonna try to like give me a chance? Because
Yeah,
I'm here and I'm a number.
exactly. So obviously everyone ends up turning on Kyle that very next vote. So the fact that it ended up being Kyle, so you were with the majority, you voted him. Are you still feeling on the outs with people like Maddie and people like you just sort of felt like, okay,
Oh yeah, 100%. I felt like Maddie, Jared, Daniel, Rob, I felt like because Kyle was gone, it made them even more tight together. Um, Also, the other thing that bothered me was like I wanted to offer people deals, but I also felt like I wasn't coming with like the wins in the challenges. So I felt like what do I have to offer other than like my vote at this point? Like I'm always coming in second. I'm not coming in first. So it's like, do I approach people with these deals or do I wait for people to come to me with these deals? And if I do tell them a deal, am I gonna risk the fact of them running to their original group and telling them? I don't know. I just felt like I kind of like played a game that was kind of like to myself, and like the only person I really wanted to work with was Maddie and like a little bit of Gideon, but I didn't fully trust him.
yeah.
So yeah,
No, definitely. I mean, that's what makes this game so tricky because, you could have pitched a name and could have taken charge, or you could have pitched a name and then you could have gotten thrown under the bus. So I understand, like,
exactly.
it's difficult. And when you're already feeling on the outs, you may not, it's hard because, and I'm trying to get people who are watching this to understand when you're playing this game, it's super fast paced, but you also don't have a lot of time. So you
Yeah.
have sort of like an hour before the challenge and then like an hour after the challenge. So to get people alone, to really form bonds, to really talk strategy is hard, especially because people see what rooms you're in, so everyone knows.
Yeah.
So I'm just want people to understand at home. It's easier said than done, essentially.
Yeah. Time
Um,
is really of the essence in this game, and you don't have a lot of time. Like I feel like we had more time in the beginning to get to know each other, but as the game prolonged, it was like you got to jump in, you got to trust people, and you don't have a choice to trust
exactly.
them. It's what I've called all pretty much all season. I have to walk on blind faith.
Yeah. Totally. Well, first of all, shout out for you for doing so well on that plate challenge. You
Oh my
really held
god.
your own against Justin, and that was, so kudos to you. That was incredible.
Thank you.
Um, so going into this was the next vote was a fun vote because your side really did take charge this time, although it still felt like just four individuals coming together. So talk to me about the Jared vote. Because if I think at the time, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was going to be a 4-4 vote. And I think everybody was sort of like, we're fine, we'll go to rocks. Obviously, Jared ended up messing up his side by voting somebody else. But talk to me a little bit about the approach going into that vote.
Okay, so I in the beginning I never trusted Jared, and the day that we got rid of Jen, I felt like I kind of like regretted it. I felt like it should have been like Jared at the time
Hmm.
because after we got rid of Jen, he came to me and he was like, "Oh, I want to thank you for like saving me because I know it was you and Gabe. Like you guys really pushed to like keep me." And I was like, "Yeah," because I really like had a good conversation with you. Like I bonded with you. And then once the rendezvous happened, and like it's like Jared just left the scene as if me and Gabe didn't even exist. And then when he would come back and was ready to talk to me, it was like I wanna tell you thank you for like keeping me, and also like I wanna like offer you like some sort of like deal. I want to if we can get rid of one of your two of your people this week, then next week we can think about getting one of mine. And I'm just sitting there like, what do you mean? Oh, and also he also said, oh, and I won't write your name down. I'm like, but that's not a deal. That's not like what do I get? You don't write my name down. You're just one person. You're gonna tell everybody not to write my name down. Like I just didn't understand him from that moment. Like I just got red flag vibes from him. I don't know if everybody felt that way, but I told basically who was on my side at the time that like this is what he offered me. It didn't make sense. I feel like that's kind of shady. That's kind of fake at the same time. Um, I feel like maybe now is his time to go. Like we can't work with somebody that's gonna be like offering people deals that it has no substance to it
Yeah.
or like value to the other person. It's only valuable to him, which I totally get. I understand, but I just didn't agree with his approach. And yeah, we clearly had to blindside him. I feel like that was like that blindside actually felt good. Like I was scared at the time, but it actually felt really good to do that. And like I was a part of doing that and I had a hand in doing that. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because it really, watching sort of the reactions of the OG Team Janet, I mean, it really shook them up because I think they all felt, because at that point, then these sort of new numbers felt like it was kind of taking control. And I think that they all really started to stress. So yeah, that was such a fun
Yeah.
to watch. It was, obviously very shocking. Jared wasn't expecting it. A lot of us at home weren't. So then going into the sad day, the final day where you were voted out, um, it was another crazy crossroads. So talk to me because I was shocked watching. And we have like a mod chat. So like while you guys are all talking, we're filling each other
Yeah.
in, like what's going on. And universally, most people said if anybody on Chantel's side pitches her Maddie, she's not gonna go with it. But you went with it. So tell me about that because
I went with it because of Gideon. Oh, Gideon and Justin. I told them now is the time to go for Rob. If we can't go for Daniel, we gotta go for Rob. I feel like I should have went harder with Rob's name, but Gideon was like, no, like Justin's on a power trip right now. Like we just have to follow what he wants to do. This. I'm like, what do you mean we have to follow? Like, no, we have to do what's better for us. The person that should have gone should have been Rob, but I
well,
didn't push hard enough, and that's the one thing I'll say that I regret.
okay. Well,
I
because
didn't I didn't push hard enough.
yeah, because obviously if you did vote Rob, but that was the only person that you all could have voted for that would have actually worked because obviously Maddie plays a compass, Daniel plays a compass, and then Ryan has his heirloom, which is essentially a compass. So he was able to
Yeah.
be immune too. So when they play, so when okay, so you have your vote, you've made your decision of voting at Maddie. Then obviously Doc says, anybody have any compasses? When Maddie and Daniel both say that they have compasses and play it, do you think that it's going to be you, or are you thinking what were you thinking?
Well, I believe I said before it was even like reveal, like during the discussion, I was like, if it's my time to go today, then I guess it's my time to go. Like I didn't know what could happen. And I just wish I followed my gut and I didn't write Maddie's name down.
Yeah. Well, so it's interesting because obviously one of the other questions I ask is your regret. So you've already sort of filled me in with that. Um,
Yeah.
of those who are still in the game, we're down to the wire. We're getting very close to the ending. Who are you rooting for, and who do you think has the best chance of winning? And it could be same name or different names.
Um, who am I rooting for? I'm rooting for Gideon because I feel like he's come out of the trenches. He got voted out and he got back in the game and he's still grinding and pushing, and I really admire like his game. Is just like it's just brilliant. But on the other hand, I am rooting for Justin even though he's flippy floppy and wishy-washy. And yeah.
He's charming though. It's like funny, like when I'm watching him,
Yeah.
I'm like enthralled by what he's saying.
Yep. Yep. I was day one, I wanted to work with him, and then I realized like his antics and like the way that he plays. I'm like, oh, this is too much. I can't. You need to like be firm. Even like when he was with us, when he said, "Oh, I'm voting with you guys now from going from now on," I'm like, I don't know, man. You're the type of person that will do what's best for you and you only.
Very, very, very
But
true.
I mean, it's still admirable. He's also come from the trenches too, and I really believe in like not giving up. And those two people have not given up whatsoever.
No, that's very, very good points. Any final words? Anything that you want to say, or anything else?
And I just want to say it was fun playing. I'm glad to have been a part of season 2 of Expedition, and I hope that I can be able to come back one day.
Well, that's always my final question is, would you play again? And it sounds like the answer is yes.
Hell yeah! And I'm coming with a different strategy this time.
Well, watch out, world. Chantel is going to be playing again. So, well,
Period.
well, Chantal, it was so nice to talk to you. And obviously, I'm sad that you were voted out, but you get to be part of the jury and you get to award a winner. And I'm sure people have told you that there's this whole other side to this game, sort of like the fun side. There's a lot of us. We're a really fun, big community. So I look forward to getting to know you. And I don't know, maybe we'll play together someday.
Oh, I hope so. That'd be super fun.
Well, everyone, thank you again for watching. Chantel, thank you for being such a fabulous guest. And I will see everyone next time because I don't know who's getting voted out tonight. We shall see. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.